former X Division champion and number 22 on PWP's Top 25 of 2022, Mike Bailey here, and you are listening to Pro Wrestling Proverbs with Logan and Anthony.
WrestleMania weekend is upon us, and I keep getting all of these Facebook memories from when we first created the podcast. I don't know if you remember, it was right before WrestleMania season. Jeff Jarrett had just been announced as going into the Hall of Fame. Our first pod was on the career of Jeff Jarrett.
Yeah.
We don't have a lot of our older stuff up, but one of the things that we do still have up on YouTube, it's a little goof, a little gaff now. It's a good inside joke between us and the people that know of it. We had one episode of Mark's Mailbag where I went through and I painstakingly discussed how a certain number of professional wrestlers could be Braun Strowman's partner. And all of them had legitimate reasons, whether it was the connection to hunting and it could be a real tag team like James Storm, whether it, Rey Mysterio and you could have that big man, little man combo. And then the night of the show came. One of the first wrestling shows I watched with my current wife. And Braun Strowman comes out and he goes through the crowd and I look at her and I go, man, this is going to be awesome. Because at the crowd, normally they have legends and other superstars in the crowd. So I'm like, oh, he's going to pick someone super dope. It's going to be someone the camera hasn't flashed to yet. Who is it? And he picked that little turd, that little sack, Nicholas. And as I was reminiscing about this, I also remember telling my wife, I'm like, oh, he picked a kid. They're not going to win now. This is so that way Braun Strowman can lose. It'll be a count out or something stupid. And they won! Braun Strowman and Nicholas, Raw Tag Team Champions, effectively created my second enemy of the pod. Number one always being Shane McMahon. Now number two being Nicholas.
Okay.
But now we're at this WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the big matches on the marquee was going to be Randy Orton and Kevin Owens. And now Randy Orton is slated to have a mystery opponent.
An open chat.
Can you say redemption? I have in front of me 15 names
15
of who it could be. And again, just like with the Braun Strowman tag team match, you said it then, these are probably going to be better than whatever we get. I'm probably going to be able to pitch this, book this, however. And we're going to get stuck with something stupid, right? Because that's just how the cookie crumbles all the time. But yeah, I have 15 here. As soon as it turned out he had an open challenge, I started doing a little digging, a little research, seeing people that don't have matches, maybe are with TNA, are free agents, could get a big pop, could give Randy a good match. And here we are, my 15 potential opponents for Randy Orton at WrestleMania 41. We're gonna start off with a little gimme here after tonight. Tonight there was I believe there was the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. I am half wondering if Carmelo Hayes winning that leads to him having a match with Randy Orton. It's a bigger prize than any of the previous winners have ever gotten.
Yeah.
And even if you lost to Randy, like, who cares? Your first WrestleMania, you're losing to Randy Orton.
Oh well.
It's not bad at this point. Randy's the guy.
It could be worse. You could have your first WrestleMania and beat Chris Jericho. His career really took off after that, huh?
Yeah. There's no Jericho Vortex though, everybody. Okay. And Carmelo and Randy they've worked well together. It would be fun. Carmelo could even drop a line like, "Oh, this is 20 years after you faced The Undertaker at WrestleMania. You were the legend killer then. Now you're the legend. I'm going to kill you. Something along those lines. Something cheesy that I'm surprised they haven't pulled out of the bag yet for Randy. But besides Carmelo, another name that I think could potentially face Randy Orton is Omos. If you remember, Omos was a tag team champion in Japan, and he gave the title up. And this was right before the Royal Rumble, so of course, easy speculation. Omos going to be in the Rumble. He's going to be a big man for the winner to eliminate. I thought at the time it was going to be Cena giving him like an AA over the rope, something along those lines. Omos never showed up. Nick Khan did recently say they don't hire people and sit them on the bench. Well, when's a better time to break out a special attraction like Omos than at the special attraction, WrestleMania? One of the last times I remember seeing Omos on WWE TV, which I'm sure there was other appearances here and there, but was the SummerSlam he went to when he was in the Slim Jim Battle Royal as a mystery. But since then, they haven't really done anything with him. I'm assuming they want him to be more special attraction. He got sent to Japan to learn. Again, Randy Orton wouldn't be a bad match for him. Omos has already faced Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania, so that'd be another feather in the cap. That's two pretty big WWE legends at this point. Again, even if you lose, it'll be a good way to reintroduce him, or you could have him beat Randy. Next, just because he's there for the Hall of Fame induction tonight, as of recording, and because his move is so similar to the RKO, why not do DDP and Randy Orton? Have him accept the challenge, do a quick, maybe he tries to hit the Diamond Cutter, Randy Orton RKOs him, Randy wins. Gets DDP a nice little moment, because, DDP deserves one. I thought about it the other day. He's helped Lex Luger stand. He's helped Abdullah the Butcher stand. He helped Scott Hall in his time of need. Helped Jake Roberts in his time of need. I'm pretty sure he's helped Mick Foley drop weight twice now. Just give DDP some flowers. A little bit more than just an Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal appearance. And like I said, there's always that connection between the Diamond Cutter and the RKO. Why not? This next guy has had quite a bit of history with Randy Orton. They've had quite a bit of matches in a couple stints with this guy's time with the WWE. I'm talking about current TNA Tag Team Champion Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy always puts on good matches with Randy. As much as you don't love the Creatures of the Night, Jeff still gets a big pop. He still gets a huge pop.
By losers.
And again, this would be the ending would be Jeff would go up to the rope, jump off to do whatever, RKO, Randy wins. Again, just with the history, this would be an easy way to put a Hardy Boy on the Mania card without having to do a whole Hardy Boys shtick. You can have Matt manage him, but Matt doesn't have to be involved. But again, just with the history of these two, Randy could put some more stuff in Jeff's gauge holes. Yeah, that was fun, right? People loved that. Little screwdriver action. Speaking of TNA, we could have a former TNA champion, the current SmackDown general manager, Nick Aldis. It's been teased. Randy Orton's RKO'd him. I think this is one of those things where the indie fans and even like AEW marks and TNA fans, they like this a lot more than WWE would, because WWE fans, I'm sure, haven't looked into how good Nick Aldis actually was. Whether he's Nick Aldis, whether he's Magnus. He dominated the TNA ranks. He helped effectively bring NWA back to life by being NWA champion. Thanks for killing that, by the way, Billy Corgan and Tyrus. Who needs more wrestling promotions, am I right? But Nick Aldis, he's been a badass. I've seen online someone speculate having Orton do the open challenge and then Mickie James come out and Mickie James introduce her husband. That would be fun. Get a couple good pops. Nick and Randy, that would be a traditional classic matchup. It would be akin to the NWA days. Triple H would be salivating. He'd be creaming his pants back in Gorilla. That's exactly what he'd want. Um, I think it works, especially with Randy challenging him. I know a couple years ago now, I said that I thought Adam Pearce was going to get in the ring with Ronda Rousey because of how he kept interacting with her. That didn't happen. But I think this Randy Nick Aldis has a bigger chance. I've heard rumblings, I don't know if you have, that Paul Heyman could end up being the SmackDown general manager.
Really?
In order to do that, yeah, in order for that to happen, though, you'd have to have the current GM get taken out or become a competitor. And I forget who it was. I think maybe Kurt Angle. Someone lost their job as GM recently, past 5 or so years, maybe 5 to 10, because they became an active competitor, and an active competitor can't be a GM. So they could easily use that. Again, Nick and Randy would just put on a great match. I don't know who'd win that one. Nick Aldis doesn't really need to win, but it could continue the feud if needed. It's just something we'll have to wait and see. This one is kind of an all-encompassing. This isn't a certain competitor. Recently, Randy has been again feuding with the Bloodline, or I don't really know what they call themselves now, but Solo and Jacob and Tama. Maybe this is when they finally pull the trigger and introduce Zilla Batu, or when they introduce Hikilo. Could see a new Samoan come out, then the Samoans could drop Randy Orton. Good way to kind of reignite that, considering those guys, I think, have had one of the biggest stall-outs, biggest drop-offs in recent time. Jacob Fatu is still great, but the other guys, who'd have thought they needed Tonga Loa to still kind of stay relevant? But this would definitely help, especially facing Randy at Mania. Another team that could benefit from having someone face Randy Orton would be our favorites, show favorites.
Whoa.
Wyatt Six.
Yeah.
Bring Uncle Howdy back.
Yeah.
We've heard for, it seems like months now, that that Alexa and the Wyatts are supposed to come out at Mania, right? They're supposed to have this big program.
Yeah, whatever.
I have no idea what it would be. I actually read tonight that Chelsea Green could do an open challenge for her title and Alexa could answer it and win. That'd be cool. That makes
Two open
sense.
challenges in one night, or in one WrestleMania.
There's 2 nights.
Right.
One on one night, one on another. But yeah, Uncle Howdy could fight Randy, and again, the history's there. If Triple H wants to bring it up, you know, he always talks about how the fans aren't stupid; they remember things. Yeah, Randy and Bray, and even Randy and Alexa, that never really got off the ground and finished. Alexa straddle pinned Randy, and it kind of went away. So maybe they finish something here. Who knows? Uncle Howdy would be my pick from the team to potentially beat Randy. If they want it to be a Wyatt 6 member and Randy Orton beat them, it could literally be anybody. The rest of the Wyatt 6, like Bo Dallas and Uncle Howdy, I could see beating Randy in kayfabe. But, like, why are you going to have Eric Rowan beat Randy? He got jobbed out to The Rock. Joe Gacy sucks. Sorry. Dexter Lumis hasn't done a damn thing since that time he kidnapped The Miz, and then he got fired. Am I forgetting anyone? Well, obviously Nikki Cross isn't going to do anything. But, yeah. So it's got to be... It would have to be Uncle Howdy if the person beats Randy.
Hey,
If not,
Nikki
have
Cross
Randy
could
beat...
do a lot of things. All right. Don't put Nikki Cross.
I don't...
She's the best member of the Wyatt 6. All right.
I mean, yes, but I don't know if they'd have the, Randy Orton lose to a lady at WrestleMania. They've already had him lose to a lady before. I don't know if they'll do it at Mania. You know, this next guy, we just met. We met him at Astronomicon. Great time. He is TNA champion. Could you imagine the arena if Joe Hendry's music played?
He is in Vegas, along with everybody else that's ever wrestled before.
Yeah. I did read that, I guess he was supposed to have a feud with The Miz, and some WWE writer didn't like that, so they didn't go through with it. Don't know how true that is. Which is crazy because The Miz is usually like the first stop for people, so I don't know why they wouldn't want that.
Okay. If the TNA World Champion, he's still the World Champion, right? I have not watched
Yes,
the
he
last TNA pay-per-view. If the TNA World Champion competed against Randy Orton at a WrestleMania, I think Vince McMahon, wherever he's at right now, he would combust into a rocket, fly himself into Allegiant Stadium, and take him out himself.
Wouldn't that be fun though? Vince dying and Joe Hendry competing at WrestleMania. I just think that would be pretty cool because I remember Joe Hendry coming out on NXT. Well, even when he first did his I Believe in Joe Hendry, and we kind of talked about him a little bit on the pod. We talked about how good WWE TNA would be. Then we went to Bound for Glory. Joe Hendry had a sweet Slim Shady entrance. Then we got to meet him an astronaut. I mean, it'd be a nice little full circle moment for the pod. But I think Joe Hendry's possible. Another TNA person I think could be possible. Or I don't know if he's currently signed, but last I saw him, he was there. It would be Matt Cardona.
Mm-hmm.
And you could have Randy Orton in the ring say, I need my WrestleMania moment. And then Cardona would come out, and then Orton would say some dumb shit like, oh, you already got your WrestleMania moment. And that's when Cardona can go, no, Zack Ryder got his. Matt Cardona is here for his. And then they could have a good little match. You know, I think that would be... Just appearing at Mania again would be enough for Cardona. Which, now that I'm thinking about it, we're at 41. Which Mania... Was it... No, it's 32. Never mind. So it'd have been a little cooler if you won the Intercontinental title at 31. It'd have been 10 years. But Cardona and Randy, I really think we're getting closer and closer to Cardona appearing in a WWE ring. There's not much left for him on the Indies. He's ready. Went to TNA, done everything but win the heavyweight title. He's ready. Made appearances in AEW. Let Cardona come to Mania. Again, the music blares through. Even if he comes out to the Broski theme at first, fans will go nuts.
I'm surprised he hasn't come back yet, especially with Chelsea being there.
Yeah.
Her success there.
He could be her, it wouldn't be, I guess it wouldn't be First Lady. They'd have to come up with some man, or some name, like First Man, or...
First Gentleman. I think that's what that's what they're called in, if, like, Kamala or Clinton would have won.
Yeah. First Gentleman Cardona. Kind of like that. This next one's a little more straightforward. Nothing too crazy. In storyline, Randy Orton injured Kevin Owens, right? Mm-hmm. So who better to challenge Randy Orton than Kevin Owens' former friend Sami Zayn?
Hey,
and it doesn't even have to be Sami Zayn being like, "Oh, you hurt my friend." I think it could be something like, "Hey, you hurt him, and I wanted to hurt him." So then, just let those two go at it. Orton and Zayn again, and again, Zayn's music hitting, crowd would pop. Good match for Orton. Those two always put on good ones as well. I think it's plausible. Now this next one, I don't want to talk a lot about because I don't think it's even close to a possibility. But we are in Vegas, and do you remember what big guy is from Vegas?
What big guy's from Vegas?
Yeah.
Is it well known? Should I just know off the top of my head he's from Vegas or?
Kind of.
Big guy from Vegas. I know Mox.
Yeah, I'll say the big guy.
The big guy.
Yeah.
Oh, Ryback?
Yep. I don't think it'll happen, but we're in Vegas, and, he's been kissing Triple H's ass on Twitter.
CM Punk would quit again.
That'd be funny shit.
Just leaves before the main event.
Yeah. So Ryback's possible. He's like that 0.01% possible. I just think because sometimes they'll pull out the hometown guy.
He's not.
And now going from
he's
one
not
that
the hometown guy I would pull out.
I don't know if they have anyone else. I mean, I know of someone else, and we'll get to him later, but he's who I associate with being from Vegas, Nevada. But anyway, the next one, going from not wanting to talk about it, because I don't think it'll happen, to not wanting to talk about it, I've got Shane McMahon here. Shane's name keeps popping up in wrestling.
He wants to buy
And
AEW.
it's to the point now where whenever his name appears, I don't know if it's a meme or not. Right? Because everything that happens, it's nothing crazy. Like, it's never like, oh man, Shane McMahon coming back to win the heavyweight title. It's, hey, Shane McMahon really wants to buy and work with AEW. Or, hey, Shane McMahon really wants to come back to WWE and maybe be a character. It's never anything off the wall that you're like, that can't happen. It's always stuff that I'm like, please, God, don't. And the other reason I could picture Shane, again, we're in Vegas, so having the money fall down and maybe giving him a little redemption arc from the last time pulling his shit. I would feel really bad for The Miz if Shane McMahon got a Mania match and The Miz did not. The Miz for me is a little bit of an honorable mention, but I think the only way The Miz gets involved in this is if he accepts the open challenge and Randy beats him like this. And then someone else comes out.
Yeah.
I don't think Miz will be involved. Sadly, it sucks for him. That's for all those out there that want to be company men. Look where it gets you. But now now we'll talk about two people, probably the highest chances. I'll kind of lump them together: Rusev and Aleister Black. Both have reportedly signed with WWE. Rusev was confirmed by Big E. I think it makes sense. The only thing that I don't like is I don't see Randy losing this open challenge unless he's jumped by a team like the Wyatt Six or the Bloodline. I don't see him losing. So why bring in Rusev or Aleister Black just to have them lose? It doesn't add up to me. Especially Aleister Black. Rusev, maybe. But if it's Rusev, it needs to be Rusev. That would be my only way that I think he could beat Randy, is if he came in and he crushed him and he had Lana with him and it was that Rusev crush. If it's
Miro?
just, yeah, I don't want that.
What?
Yeah. And I know these are the two that have the highest possibility and are the most talked about online. Aleister Black doesn't make sense to me unless, or even Rusev doesn't, unless Nick Aldis hires them as like a hitman. You know, because Randy's been fucking with them. But that'd be the only way to me that it would add up and it would make sense. And now we're at number 15. And I referenced earlier Las Vegas. Someone else kind of lives out that way. This guy has been in good graces with WWE lately. He's had a couple matches with AEW in the past couple years, and he's also one of the 3 professional wrestlers on the cover of All Time Wrestling, the Extreme Edition. If you have not heard, All Time Wrestling is a critically acclaimed game where you pick a professional wrestler and then you can go through various matches being played either in solo or with various player counts depending on which pack you have. We were luckily gifted, as I said, the Extreme Edition from the good people at that created All Time Wrestling, Cash and Games. And on the cover, and on the cover it has, the suicidal, homicidal, genocidal maniac Sabu. It has one of the most underrated ECW performers of all time, Raven. And then right in the center, a man who I've met at Battle in the Creek. I've met at Astronomicon. And, he's kind of been in the pro wrestling Proverbs circle as of late, as we've talked about Bad Business Bobby and how he screwed this man over. It's none other than Michigan's own, currently with a residency in Las Vegas, Rob Van Dam.
The whole effing
and
show?
I think this makes sense. It checks all the boxes, right?
Yeah.
Nick Aldis could say he's a former heavyweight champion. Nick Aldis could say it's someone that Randy Orton's fought before. Rob Van Dam's first stint on WWE TV was ended with a Randy Orton punch to the head. Yeah, he came back a couple times after, but could play that card into effect. Rob Van Dam was Randy Orton's first big feud, really, by taking the Intercontinental title off of Rob Van Dam. He is a Hall of Famer. So again, Nick, it's a Hall of Famer, a former heavyweight champion. It just checks everything. His theme going off, the fans would explode. And again, as I've said with some of the others, RVD really doesn't need the win here. But I know RVD and Randy would put on a hell of a match, and the ending would be the same. He would do a top rope move, or he'd do something jumping off of the ropes, and Orton would hit him with an RKO. But I'm sure we'd see all the RVD, all his moves. We'd see the crane kick. We'd see the Van Daminator. We'd see the Rolling Thunder. We'd see the Frog Splash. Depending on if Nick Aldis is super pissed off at Randy and he makes it an Extreme Rules match, we could see some chair work. I just think this one checks all the boxes. I think WrestleMania is a time where they do try and have people appear. RVD's appeared in the crowd on a couple shows already. I mean, why not? He goes from bad business to best for business.
I have a small list too. Who I think it could be.
Okay. Is there overlap with mine?
No. Mine's a little bit more realistic, I think. Yours is a little too hopeful. One, I think the most likely person will be one of Logan Paul's friends. I'm gonna group a whole bunch of people in there. I Show Speed. Remember, Randy Orton kind of had a beef with him. I don't know which Mania that was that last year or 2 years ago? Yeah. One of Pat McAfee's bros. I don't know who's all there. Pat McAfee himself.
With Randy Orton.
Yeah. Why not? He's always looking for a match.
I know McAfee really likes to put himself over.
Yeah. Then you got, I think Nicholas is actually a pretty good betting odds. He's old. He's older now. I think he can hold his own. He's gaining a little weight.
I would myself hold him down so Randy Orton could punt him with a soccer cleat side up.
I don't know. I don't know how old he is now.
Old enough.
I think he's 17 now.
Well,
so that's good.
Old enough.
Because that was at WrestleMania 34 and he was 10 then. So I don't know, quick math. 7 years ago. There's also somebody that's been teased by Pat McAfee that's apparently on his way to Vegas. This person is also rumored. I saw a report today. I don't know how credible it is. That this person could be involved in ring somehow in an in-ring event.
I did see that. This person is a Hall of Famer as well. Yeah, don't forget that.
WWE Hall of Famer. Probably the most powerful WWE Hall of Famer. Had a match at WrestleMania before. Was involved in the match at Mania before. 47 himself. The Commander-in-Chief. He might show up. I don't want to say his name. I don't know how the algorithm reacts to his name anymore.
And that would make perfect sense because Randy Orton, if you remember, didn't he? It wasn't a dishonorable discharge. Didn't he leave the military in not a great way?
Yeah, well, I don't think Trump did too, so.
I know he did too, but now he's the commander, so now, he's getting revenge for America.
Right. Hey, these are all possibilities. Snoop Dogg, Kid Rock.
I'd love to see Kid Rock get punted as well.
Who else could have?
If he got punted just right, that bird beak of a nose could lodge into his cranium, and then we'd never have to hear him again.
Thankfully, thank God. I don't know who else is down there. I wish we were watching Hall of Fame right now, so I could look at the random legends that are just in the crowd. Because a part of me wants to say like Austin, because that'd be awesome. Because that's always been a dream match of mine.
Oh yeah, just the Viper and the Rattlesnake.
Viper versus the Rattle. That's so just like money marketing. Like if Randy could have debuted like 2 years earlier and picked up that moniker earlier, the Viper versus the Rattlesnake. Oh god, that'd be awesome.
So I have in front of me the professional wrestlers from Nevada, because we kind of talked about this before. Peter Avalon, who was I believe he was the librarian in AEW. Rico from Billy and Chuck. Carl Fredericks, who currently wrestles under Eddie Thorpe. Reno Scum, the tag team. Playboy Buddy Rose, a passed away legend who is in the Legacy Wing. Ryback, and Karrion Kross.
Karrion Kross would be cool.
I don't really know what he's doing. He's doing a thing with Sami Zayn and The Miz and AJ, and I don't know if they should add another feud to Karrion. But there's all sorts of possibilities.
I got two more for you. I just gotta figure out this other person's name.
Okay.
Okay, I found it. The first person, it could be Nia Jax. Nia Jax and Randy have history.
That's true, and she is a part of the bloodline, so it would tie into that.
And I have an indie wrestler here.
Okay.
That wrestled today in Las Vegas for DDT.
Okay.
I don't know their pronouns, but they were in the DDT Universal Championship match against Minoru Suzuki. Yoshihiko, the sex doll, DDT.
I mean, what was it that Jim Ross used to say? Anything is possible in WWE?
Yeah. I think that's my guess.
I mean, any of these are possible. These are, of
there's
course.
also, I'm sure they're there. Cocaine is there. Blue Cane is there.
Oh.
Is there a gay Cane?
His name's Gain.
Yeah, any of those, like all three of them coming out.
I mean, Kane could even be a possibility. Realistically.
What's that one Undertaker name? I can't say what I know him as, but he goes by a different name.
I think he goes by the Soul Taker.
Does he?
I know what you're talking about.
The Soul Taker, yep, okay. He could show up, that'd be cool.
I mean, I guess even if we're talking Vegas, I don't know why he wasn't listed on Wikipedia. The Godfather, he's from Vegas. He's a Hall of Famer. He's known to come in for moments that other people should have and lose, so why not?
He could also... His music he can play, and he can run out late like he did at that one Mania. Was that...
Yes.
9, 8? 11?
Oh, yeah, when the Warrior came out.
Yeah, I don't know.
I believe that would have been 8. That was Hogan and No, it was Hogan and Vicious, so it would have been 9. 8, 9? I don't know. I don't have it in front of me.
9 is Hogan and Yokozuna.
Oh,
so it would have been 8.
But these are, like I said, these are all fantasy booking ideas. A way for us to kind of play promoter, play some matchups, if you will. But if you want to play promoter, if you want to wrestle, maybe not in a video game, but do something else, kind of work your brain itself, go pick up All Time Wrestling. As I said, it's a fast-paced wrestling game. It's easy to learn and quick to play. You can have many memorable wrestling moments. And as I said, this extreme version has Raven, RVD, and Sabu. I've seen other editions have Kurt Angle, Macho Man, and Andre the Giant. So there's some big names attached to this game. And now, Wrestling Proverbs is attached to this game. So make sure you go buy a copy of All Time Wrestling. Go search for it. Like I said, it's made by Cashin Arts, Cation Arts. And you can find it at alltimewrestling.com. And, make sure you're watching WrestleMania. See if any of our Randy Orton opponents come true, or if poor Randy gets the Bobby Lashley treatment and just comes out on the stage and waves, like when Bobby couldn't fight Bray Wyatt.